What if the biggest risk on your family's Mexico vacation has nothing to do with the flight? 15 destinations sit on this countdown, and most of them hide something the brochure never mentions. Some hide it in the current, some hide it in the cobblestone, some hide it behind a golf cart with bad brakes. This countdown starts with the riskiest stop on the map and ends with the only 3 places that actually earn a family-safe label. The last number might surprise you. Number 15. Acapulco Bay. The classic cliffside hotels along the bay look stunning in old postcards, but many were built decades ago and the balconies, railings, and pool fencing have not kept pace with modern family safety standards. A taxi from the airport into the older hotel strip runs close to $18, and drivers often recommend staying close to the resort after dark. Hospital General de Acapulco sits inland from the bay, and transfer time from the older beachfront hotels can run past 20 minutes depending on traffic through downtown. Janet, a mother of 2 from San Diego, said her family's rental had a pool gate that would not latch, and hotel maintenance took 2 full days to fix it. For families with toddlers, the mix of aging infrastructure and heavy downtown traffic makes this one of the harder stops on this list to relax into. A guided cliff diving show ticket costs around $10, but the show itself involves divers leaping from rock ledges that families are asked to view from crowded, unrailed viewpoints. Newer hotel construction sits closer to Punta Diamante, roughly 20 minutes south, and generally comes with modern pool fencing the older Bay Strip lacks. A room in that newer district often costs $30 more per night than the same size room on the older Bay Strip, a real gap for budget-conscious families. Stomach illness from undercooked street seafood sends a steady stream of travelers to that same hospital every summer season. What if the next stop swapped cliffs for open highway, with no sidewalk in sight for a stroller? Number 14. Rosarito Beach. This border town draws day trippers with cheap tacos and ocean views, but the coastal highway connecting the hotel strip has narrow shoulders and almost no marked pedestrian crossings. A round-trip taxi from the border crossing costs around $25, and wait times crossing back into the United States can stretch past 90 minutes on a busy weekend. Hospital General de Tijuana serves the wider region, with transfer time from central Rosarito running close to 30 minutes on the free highway. For families traveling with young kids, the beach itself is beautiful, but the walk from most hotels to the sand crosses a road with fast-moving traffic and few marked crossings. Tap water here is not recommended even for brushing teeth, and stomach illness from accidental exposure sends more than a few travelers home early. A bottle of purified water at a hotel gift shop costs about $2, cheap insurance against a ruined vacation day. Weekend traffic on the coastal highway can double a normal 15-minute drive into a half-hour crawl, which matters if a hospital run is ever needed. Locals recommend the toll road over the free highway for exactly that reason, even though it costs an extra $4 each way. Nobody expects a border wait to be the most stressful part of a beach trip, yet families report exactly that year after year. Up next, a pair of twin beach towns where the danger sits just past the waterline. Number 13. Ixtapa and Zihuatanejo. These twin beach towns offer gorgeous open ocean swimming, but several of the main beaches carry strong undertow warnings that are easy for visiting families to miss entirely. A boat tour to nearby Isla Ixtapa costs around $15, and it is genuinely calmer water than the open beaches back in town. Hospital General de Zihuatanejo serves the area, with transfer time from the more remote Ixtapa hotel strip running close to 25 minutes. Unlike the crowded ports elsewhere on this list, the danger here is isolation, since fewer lifeguards are posted per mile of beach compared to busier tourist zones further north. Mark, a father of 3 from Denver, said his son got caught in a rip current at a beach with no flag system at all, and it took real effort to pull him back to shore. Sticking to beaches with visible lifeguard towers and flag systems is not optional here, it is closer to a requirement. A full-day boat and snorkel tour costs around $45, but the operator cannot control ocean conditions once you are already in the water. Playa La Ropa, on the Zihuatanejo side, keeps calmer water than the open beaches in Ixtapa proper, worth the extra 15-minute drive for families with small kids. Stomach illness is not the main danger waiting at the next stop either, but the crowding is. Number 12. Playa del Carmen's 5th Avenue. The famous pedestrian strip looks calm in daytime photos and turns into a crowded, noisy corridor by evening, with delivery scooters weaving through foot traffic more than official rules allow. A short walk from one end of 5th Avenue to the other can take 20 minutes just navigating around vendors and dinner crowds. Hospitin Riviera Maya sits close to the strip, generally under 10 minutes away by car, one of the shorter transfer times on this list. For families with young children, holding hands through the strip's busiest blocks is genuinely necessary, since the crowd density makes it easy to lose sight of a small child for a few seconds. Compare that density to the calmer gated resort zones just outside town, where the same evening feels far less chaotic. A family dinner on Fifth Avenue often costs 30% more than the same meal a few blocks off the main strip. Sarah, a mother of one from Portland, said she lost sight of her daughter for less than a minute near a busy plaza and never let go of her hand again the whole trip. Weeknight evenings run noticeably calmer than weekend nights, when cruise ship crowds stack on top of the usual tourist traffic. Confession: even locals avoid the strip's busiest 4 blocks between 8 and 10 at night, if they can help it. Number 11. Tulum. The clifftop ruins overlook a stunning beach, but the paths down to the water involve steep, uneven stone stairs with minimal railing in several sections. For parents carrying toddlers, managing strollers, or keeping an eye on energetic children, the descent can become much more difficult than it looks from the top. Loose stones and worn steps can also become slippery after rain, making footwear with good grip especially important. Entry to the ruins costs around $5, small money next to the physical challenge of the descent with young kids in tow. The archaeological site itself is fascinating, with dramatic views that make it easy to understand why families want to include it on a Tulum itinerary. However, the combination of heat, crowds, and difficult walking surfaces means parents may want to visit early in the morning rather than during the hottest part of the day. Centro de Salud Tulum handles minor emergencies, but serious cases require transfer to Playa del Carmen, a drive that can run past 40 minutes depending on jungle road traffic. That distance matters when traveling with children, particularly if someone becomes seriously dehydrated, suffers a significant fall, or has an unexpected allergic reaction. Beyond the ruins, many of Tulum's famous cenotes are open swimming holes with no lifeguard on duty and sudden drop-offs in depth. Lisa, a mother from Austin, said her family loved the cenote photos but was startled by how quickly the shallow entry area gave way to deep, dark water. What looks like a gentle swimming spot in photographs can therefore be surprisingly intimidating once children are actually in the water. For families, sticking to cenotes with staffed entry points and marked swim areas is the safer version of this experience. Parents should also check whether life jackets are available, especially for younger children or anyone who is not a confident swimmer. Even at supervised sites, children should remain within arm's reach around the water. A cenote day pass costs around $12, and the calmer, better staffed sites are usually worth the slightly higher price over the free roadside ones. Paying a little more can mean clearer rules, safer access points, changing facilities, and staff who know the swimming area well. Renting a bicycle to reach the beach zone costs around $8 a day and skips the unlit jungle road that many rental cars struggle with after dark. However, families with very young children should consider whether cycling in Tulum's traffic and heat is comfortable for everyone. A taxi or organized transfer may cost more, but can be the easier option when carrying beach equipment, snacks, and tired children. The biggest lesson here is that Tulum rewards families who plan around the physical realities rather than relying on photographs. The ruins, beaches, and cenotes can all be memorable, but choosing accessible routes, supervised swimming areas, and sensible travel times can make the difference between an enjoyable day and an unnecessarily stressful one. This is the last stop on this list where the danger genuinely outweighs the charm, and every entry from here on gets a little more forgiving. Number 10. Puerto Vallarta's Los Muertos Beach. This is one of the most popular family beaches in Puerto Vallarta, but afternoon winds can kick up a surprisingly strong shore break that catches waders off guard. A beach chair rental costs around $8 for the day, and staying near the staffed lifeguard tower is worth the short walk from a quieter spot. CMQ Hospital sits centrally in Puerto Vallarta, generally under 15 minutes from the beach by car depending on traffic along the Malecon. For families, the Malecon boardwalk connecting the beach to downtown is flat and easy, but the beach itself needs closer supervision than its calm morning appearance suggests. Roberto, a father from Phoenix, said the water looked gentle at 10 in the morning and had real pull by mid-afternoon. Checking the daily flag system before letting kids swim unsupervised is a simple habit that makes a real difference here. A fresh coconut from a beach vendor costs around $3, a nice reward for staying close to the lifeguard station. Morning swims here are genuinely calmer than afternoon swims, a pattern worth planning a whole beach day around. Give it 2 more stops, and the whole shape of this list starts to change. Number 9. Cabo San Lucas and Lovers Beach, the famous arch, and the beach beside it look calm from a boat tour, but the currents on the Pacific side of that same stretch of sand are strong enough that swimming is genuinely not recommended there. A glass-bottom boat tour past the arch costs around $20 and is the safer way to see this landmark with young kids. Hospital H plus Los Cabos sits centrally, typically under 15 minutes from the main marina by car. For families, the calmer Sea of Cortez side of the peninsula is a much better swimming choice than the open Pacific side just a short walk away. Compare Lovers Beach's Pacific currents to the Sea of Cortez side of the same peninsula, and the safety difference is night and day. A boat tour operator here will often point out which side of the beach is safe for wading, and it is worth asking directly before anyone gets in the water. A private boat charter to the calmer side costs around $60 for a half day, more than the public glass-bottom tour, but worth it for peace of mind. Nobody expects a 2-hour bus ride to be the riskiest part of a beach vacation, but the next stop proves exactly that. If dodging riptides, cobblestone ankle twists, and crowded pedestrian strips sounds like information you actually need before booking your next trip, subscribe now so you never plan a Mexico vacation blind again. Number 8. Chichen Itza day trips from the Riviera Maya. This UNESCO site draws huge crowds, and the round trip from most resorts involves 2 to 3 hours each way on a bus with limited stops. A guided day tour costs around $90 per person, and the site itself offers very little shade during the hottest midday hours. Hospitan Cancun serves travelers returning from these day trips, generally reachable within the Cancun hotel zone in under 15 minutes. For families with young kids, the combination of a long bus ride, intense heat, and almost no shade at the ruins makes this one of the more physically demanding excursions on this entire list. Booking the earliest available tour, departure avoids both the worst heat and the thickest crowds later in the day. A bottle of water sold near the site entrance can cost triple what the same bottle costs at a resort convenience shop. Packing a portable fan and electrolyte packets costs about $5 combined and genuinely helps kids get through the midday stretch. The private tour option, which runs closer to $150, at least offers air-conditioned transport and a flexible schedule around nap times. Tell us in the comments which of these 15 stops would make your family turn around and head straight back to the airport. Number 7. Cozumel's Reef Snorkeling Sites. The reefs here are some of the clearest water in the Caribbean, but several popular snorkeling spots sit along channels with real currents strong enough to pull a weak swimmer off course fast. A guided reef snorkel tour costs around $40 and includes a life vest, which is genuinely worth using even for confident swimmers. Hospital General de Cozumel sits close to the ferry terminal, typically under 10 minutes away by car. For families, sticking to shallow, current-protected sites near the shore is the safer choice over open reef drift snorkeling with young children. The passenger ferry from Playa del Carmen costs around $15 each way, and rougher crossing days are common enough that checking the forecast first is smart. A family that skips the drift sites and sticks to the calmer shore reefs still sees plenty of coral and fish without fighting a current the whole time. One current here can undo an entire relaxed beach day in under a minute, which is exactly why the shore reefs stay the safer pick. Chankanaab Park, with its protected lagoon, charges around $25 and removes the current risk almost entirely for younger swimmers. Number 6. Copper Canyon and the Chepe Express train. This scenic train ride climbs through canyon country that sits well above 8,000 feet at points along the route, and altitude can affect kids and adults alike with headaches or nausea that catch families off guard. A one-way ticket on the scenic train costs around $100, and the journey itself takes most of a full day. Hospital General de los Mochis serves the lower elevation start of the route, but medical access along the higher canyon stretches is limited and can take considerably longer to reach. For families, packing extra water and watching for early signs of altitude discomfort in younger children matters more here than almost anywhere else on this list. Compare the altitude risk here to the heat risk further south in Acapulco, both invisible dangers that build slowly rather than announcing themselves. A boxed lunch on board the train costs around $12, a convenient option given how few stops the route makes. Altitude does not announce itself the way a rip current does, and that quiet is exactly what makes this stop easy to underestimate. Descending back toward Los Mochis for the night, rather than staying in the higher canyon towns, cuts the altitude exposure time roughly in half. If this list has been useful so far, tap the like button so more families see it before they book a non-refundable flight. Number 5. Isla Mujeres. This small island off Cancun is genuinely relaxed, but nearly everyone gets around by rented golf cart, and the mix of inexperienced tourist drivers on narrow roads creates more fender benders than most visitors expect. The roads may look simple enough at first, but visitors are often navigating unfamiliar streets while dealing with pedestrians, bicycles, scooters, sudden turns, and other tourists who may also have very little driving experience. That combination makes the island's transportation more unpredictable than its peaceful atmosphere suggests. A golf cart rental costs around $50 for the day, and sticking to the island's slower coastal loop road is safer than cutting through the busier downtown streets. Taking a few minutes before departure to understand the brakes, steering, lights, and controls can make a noticeable difference, especially for anyone who has never driven a golf cart before. It is also smart to check the vehicle for existing dents or scratches and photograph them before leaving the rental shop, particularly when traveling with children. Hospital de la Amistad sits centrally on the island, typically under 10 minutes from most hotel areas by golf cart. That short distance provides some reassurance for families if a minor accident or illness occurs during the day. Still, parents should carry water, sunscreen, basic first aid supplies, and any essential medications rather than assuming everything they need will be immediately available. For families, Playa Norte on the island's north end is genuinely one of the calmest, most shallow swimming beaches on this entire list, a real bright spot. The gentle water makes it easier for parents to supervise younger children, and the beach is a much more comfortable option for families who want to spend several hours swimming without dealing with strong waves. Even with calm conditions, children should remain closely supervised because water conditions can change and shallow areas can become deeper, farther from shore. Compare that calm swimming beach to the golf cart traffic just a few blocks inland, and the lesson repeats. The risk here is the road, not the water. Parents often spend so much time checking whether a beach is safe that they overlook the journey between the hotel, restaurants, and attractions. A driver taking a corner too quickly, a pedestrian stepping into the road, or another tourist suddenly stopping can create a dangerous situation in seconds. A fresh fish ceviche near Playa Norte costs around $7, solid value compared to similar dishes back on the mainland. It is an easy lunch option after a morning at the beach and gives families a chance to enjoy local seafood without paying resort-level prices. When ordering ceviche or other raw seafood, however, it is still sensible to choose a busy, reputable restaurant with good turnover and proper food handling. One road is the whole risk at the next stop. Nothing more complicated than that. Renting a golf cart with seat belts, which not every rental shop offers, is worth asking about specifically before signing anything. Number 4. Riviera Maya Jungle Zipline Excursions. These adventure parks combine zip lines, rope bridges, and cenote swimming in one packed day, and several of the platforms sit well above the height limits families expect from a family-friendly excursion. A full-day adventure park pass costs around $80 per person, and most parks include a weight and height minimum that is worth checking before booking for younger kids. Hospitan Riviera Maya serves the wider corridor between Cancun and Tulum, with transfer time from most jungle parks running close to 20 minutes. For families, reading the specific age and height requirements for each zipline course before arrival avoids a disappointing turnaway at the gate. Sandra, a mother from Miami, said her youngest was 2 inches short of the height minimum and had to sit out the course entirely, information she wished the booking site had made clearer up front. Choosing parks with a dedicated junior course, built specifically for shorter kids, sidesteps this problem entirely. A junior zipline pass at parks that offer one costs around $40, less than the adult course and scaled to a safer height. The final 3 stops flip the whole list on its head. 3 places where none of the risks above really apply. Number 3. Nuevo Vallarta and Bahia de Banderas. This gated resort corridor just north of Puerto Vallarta sits on a calm, gradually sloping bay with far gentler surf than the open beaches closer to town. A family suite at one of the corridor's all-inclusive resorts runs a wide range depending on season, but nearly all include supervised kids' pools separated from the main adult areas. Hospitan Puerto Vallarta sits within the same corridor, typically under 15 minutes from most resort properties by car. For families, the flat, walkable resort paths and calm bay water make this one of the easier stretches of coastline on this entire list to actually relax on. Compare the bay's gentle slope here to Lovers Beach's Pacific currents further south, and the difference in swimming safety is immediate. A poolside lunch at most resorts here is included in the room rate, a real advantage for families managing a tight budget with kids who eat constantly. Most properties in this corridor were renovated within the last several years, and updated pool fencing shows it. Number 2. Costa Mujeres and Playa Mujeres. This newer resort zone north of Cancun's hotel strip offers calm, shallow Caribbean water protected by a natural reef further offshore. Genuinely gentle enough for toddlers to wade comfortably. Resort day passes for non-guests run around $90, though most families here are staying on-site at one of the area's family-focused, all-inclusive properties. Hospitin Cancun sits a short drive south along the same coastal road, typically under 20 minutes from most Costa Mujeres properties. For families, the newer resorts in this zone were largely built within the last decade, meaning updated pool fencing, modern elevators, and wider accessible walkways compared to some of the older properties further south. Compare this newer infrastructure to Acapulco's aging hotel strip at the start of this list, and the contrast in family safety planning is significant. A kids' club day pass is included at most properties here, giving parents a genuinely supervised break without leaving the resort grounds. That single detail, an included kids' club, is worth more to most families than any ocean view upgrade. Number 1. The Cancun Hotel Zone's calmer northern beaches. The northern stretch of Cancun's hotel zone faces a bay rather than the open Caribbean, and that geography alone makes the water noticeably calmer than the wave-heavy southern beaches on the same strip. A family suite here spans a wide range of prices, but the northern hotel zone consistently offers some of the shortest, flattest walks from room to beach on this entire list. Hospitin Cancun and several other full-service hospitals sit directly within the hotel zone, typically under 10 minutes from most properties, among the fastest access on this entire countdown. For families, wide paved paths connect most of the northern hotel zone's resorts, making stroller navigation genuinely easy compared to the cobblestone towns earlier on this list. Karen, a mother of 3 from Chicago, called it the first Mexico trip where she never once worried about losing sight of her kids in traffic or current. Families consistently rate the calmer northern beaches as the easiest stretch of Mexican coastline for young children to enjoy without sitting out the water entirely. Compare the ease of these calm bay beaches to Ixtapa's unmarked rip currents earlier on this list, and it becomes clear that comfort and safety are not actually opposites in Mexico. This is proof that the right resort zone can turn a family trip from a string of near misses into the best vacation of the year. Thanks for watching. Click the video on the left for more family travel truths you need before you book your next trip. Tell us in the comments which of these 15 stops surprised you the most and why. Every comment gets read. The next video breaks down 5 all-inclusive resorts where kids eat free and parents actually get to relax.